What's up? Welcome back to the worm and all that. And I am wasted. I had like 2 weeks where I didn't do anything because I had some back issues, and then my buddy Tito and girlfriend Sarah showed up 3 days ago, and we spent 3 days straight cutting, chipping, burning, just brush. So I build all this stuff out here. You know, I'll use down trees or occasionally cut down some trees to get the chainsaw mill out, make boards, build whatever crazy stuff I want to build. And a lot of times the brush gets forgotten, especially because it wasn't until like a month or two ago that I actually got a chipper. So it was just so much work to cut, drag, burn, all that stuff. So they were really into it. Tito loves burning stuff, Sarah loved chipping stuff. So we just went 3 days straight after 2 weeks of laying out flat, and it freaking killed me. But I got a few things I want to do. I'm starting work on my mini cabin, and there's some logs and stuff around here that I need to get up off the ground. It's possibly gonna have some light snow in the next couple days. I don't think we'll have real snow for a couple more weeks, but got one giant, pretty giant, it's further up the tree, but this pine log that I'd used half of. And the other half, Sarah asked me to make her an end table for her place. So if I can get the energy up, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just burning brush here. You don't usually see me sitting by a fire. Don't really ever do that. But I'm gonna take the four-wheeler over, drag that half log over to the sawhorses, and get the chainsaw mill out, mill up some, thinking like, I don't know, as thick of boards as like probably like 2-inch boards or something. Just make a really simple, I don't even know what it's for. I think behind her couch or something, but just like as wide as the board. I think she said like 60 inches long and I don't know, 30 inches tall or whatever it was. I got the numbers somewhere. Just depending on how much lumber there is to use there. And all I gotta do is get up the energy. Plus I think it's gonna rain. Maybe I should just call it quits. Maybe take a couple more weeks off. I hear Netflix is good this time of year. Oh. Okay, I'll go. Can't remember what I used the rest of this log for. Framing for something? I don't really know. It would look kind of cool. I think use this top slab. I don't know if you can see how big it is. Probably like 18 inches or something. Maybe I'll leave this funny side on one side and then cut the other flat. I guess it's going to go up against a wall or something. And it did get peeled, mostly peeled. Oh, actually it's pretty good. Probably everything I'll use already got peeled, so there shouldn't be too many bugs in it. I think there were some old, maybe like old bug holes in there, but as long as they're not still living in there, it doesn't really matter. It might look kind of cool. I mean, it's her place, not mine, so if it gets full of bugs and worms, you know. And I even had a quarter of a pie and 3 scrambled eggs for breakfast. That's kind of superfood for me, so I must really be worn out. I don't know if there are any like stubby limbs sticking out of the bottom of this. I might not even be able to move it. Well, Sarah, if you're watching, you got to know this table's going to be really rough. Not a lot of care is going to go into its assembly, and I'm going to put it all together with drywall screws because I can't change who I am to suit you. Oh, good thing it's really light. We can make a table out of that. It's actually a really, really pretty piece of wood. It is pine, you wouldn't think it'd have all that much character, but this was up towards the top. So it's got a lot of knots and stuff, which you wouldn't really want in furniture making, but that's just, that's how I'm gonna do it. I really want to plane the top of this back off because it's all grayed from sitting here for the last 6 months, but I think I'm gonna save it for the reveal for myself, something to look forward to. All right, chainsaw mill. Holy crap. As for a special occasion, I think I'll get out a brand new milling chain. I've got 3 of them, so I can have 2 more special occasions. I'll have to think something up. Interestingly, it's sharpened differently than they used to be. Now they've got them, the 2 different cutting teeth, unless I change something, which I don't think so on my other Granberg chains. This has 2 different teeth. Like the first set of teeth is a full tooth. They come out like that. That's all semi-chisel chains, so the edges are kind of rounded. They have full teeth, and then they have 2 teeth that are like ground off, like this part's ground off, so they're just very narrow. But they're both sharpened to 10 degrees. I believe they used to be, the full tooth was sharpened to 0 degrees, and the little bitty tooth, ground down tooth, was sharpened to 30 degrees. Now they're 10 and 10, so this will be really interesting to see if I can tell a difference. I've been using these same chains for many a month, so I bet it'll make it a lot nicer cut, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks like I can only get maybe 2 2-inch slabs. Oh, there's a piece missing here, but it starts again there, so I think even without this, that's enough to do at least 2 2-inch slabs. This stuff is a little bit too much for the saw. I mean, it's, by the end of it, it's the length of the bar, the length of the usable bar on this anyway, but I'll just go slow. And I mean, somehow I milled the rest of this, the other half of this, so we'll get through it. Well, I can't believe how fast that milled. I don't know if I can attribute it to the chain or the wood or what, but since I got those 2 other brand new chains, when I get to milling this cedar, which will probably happen in the next day, a couple days, for the mini cabin over here I'm building, I'm going to do a side-by-side. I'll take an old chain that's milled at 0 and 30 degrees and then switch it out halfway through and put this other one on and see how it works. That was like 2 minutes aboard. That was crazy. I kind of can't help myself. I'm gonna have to I have to plane some of this off just to see what it looks like. Unfortunately, the end of the board here wasn't thick enough, so I don't know. I don't really have a plan in my head for this, but it's the plan that's not there is going to have to change because there's not enough wood for it. So we'll see. Let's see how pretty this gets. Who knows what's going to creep out of this when you get it in a warm house. Once it dries, could fill this with resin. That look kind of cool too. Well, got what, 5 feet of good wood there. We'll figure something out. Okay, I gotta admit, I caved. I couldn't do it. I was so wiped out, and it was getting blowy and spitting rain on and off, so I totally caved in. Like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, just went in the tent and crashed basically for the rest of the day. So now it's 2 days later, and my buddy Tito came back out. He's burning a bunch of brush. Got both the fires going. We had a freeze overnight. It's starting to thaw out in the sun. So he's gonna go finish collecting all the brush around here, logs and stuff that we've cut just all through, like every single trail out here. We cut brush piles and down trees and stuff, and a lot of it's still laying out there. So he's gonna be working on that today. Every day I pick up my helmet. The first time, I always got to check on the ear holes for spiders. They love not every night, but quite often they'll go in there. Those funnel web spiders, or I think that's what they are. You'll have to fill in those ear muffs. I've had a couple times put them on without checking the helmet, and it is not a good feeling. I actually think that looks kind of cool. I just did like 3 passes over it with that little planer. I think I'm going to leave it like that. Sarah, does this look good? Okay, great. I'm going to leave it. This is clearly going to have to be built in stages, or finished in stages. I'm going to cut it up now, figure out how to put the whole thing together. Probably sit out here for a couple weeks until I can get it down to Sarah's place. And then she can use it for the winter, and just being inside in the heat and stuff, it'll dry out. Probably warp, make crack, whatever. And then maybe in the spring I'll bring it back out here. If there are any cracks, I'll glue them up. Probably plane it again, and then put the some kind of finish on it, a varnish or whatever. There's not really any other option. There's no way I can season it right now, and I could either set the boards in the pile. It's 2 inches thick, so that's technically takes a couple of years. I think it's an inch a year is what's generally suggested for seasoning wood. But I figure it's better she uses it for the next year or 2 while it's seasoning. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna do it. Look at him go, folks. Isn't he something? One of God's own prototypes. Too weird to live, too rare to die. Well, I just messaged Sarah. I asked if she wanted this side or this one. She liked the clearer one, so that's actually kind of cool because of the angle on this. You actually see this side with this being the top. Let's see, I figure out how long she wants it, and then I'm going to try to rip the back of this off with the chainsaw. Of course it's with a chainsaw. It's ridiculous that I even had to add that. How else would a guy do it? She said roughly 50 inches long, and luckily it's roughly, because if I make it 49 then there can be a shelf. I can get 2 pieces out of this, so that ought to work. Well, I finally did it. Replacing my 20-plus-year-old little Ryobi saw, and I got a new one, and it's exactly for this. This saw only cut an 1.5 inch board, so that won't even reach through there, let alone probably even cut it. And this sucker Oh yeah, could do another quarter or half inch on top of that. So let's see if it cuts through this. That's a different experience. I think that was money well spent. Since I got a big strong man here, I'm gonna use earmuffs, but you don't need them. Hold it, right there. Check this thing out. Yep.
Sings pretty.
Yep. Yeah, man, they've made some things better in the last 20-25 years.
That thing is, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an inch and a half thick.
Yeah, 2 inches, and it's wet.
Jeez.
That other one wouldn't. I mean, I don't know how many freaking thousands of hours I've got on that thing, but yeah, just this
Really winds up.
compared to this.
Yeah, it's its own very special song.
Ear-shattering noise. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, have a nice day.
Please drive through. Well, I always make everything with the chainsaw. I'd rip this with the chainsaw and then run the planer over the side of it. That's my standard operating procedure, but now I'm kind of curious to cut the ends so well. The end grain, of course, that's a lot easier cut than a rip, so I don't know. I want to see if this thing will rip this off. And I wouldn't even have to plane it square. I can't believe it's working. Of course, just ate through most of a battery making 4 cuts, but now I have to finish it. That's going to be the shelf underneath. It's going to look cool if the shelf was recessed just a tiny bit. See what I can do to get 2 legs out of this. I was hoping I could get them as wide as the top, but I guess it could always be a little narrower and set back in. I don't know if this is going on carpet or what, so I guess the wider the legs the better. Just marking all my lines right on here, and then I'll plane it back off, get rid of my drawings. Now it's days like this that make a guy appreciate living outdoors in a tent all the time. It's amazing. Apparently not too far from here they're getting dumped on with snow. Already got a couple inches today. I think it's heading this way, so got some stuff to finish up as always. I was thinking this was like a tall table or something, but I don't know what this is for. It's pretty low. I guess maybe that's a couch table. This looks like Stonehenge. Just trying to tap these back far enough that I can cut, just barely nick the back of this and get a straight line on it, so if it goes up against a wall, it'll be flat like this. And then the shelf going in there can just reach back to that too, and I can nick the back of the shelf off flat. I kind of like this big knot in it right on the front. And that one. Go through the pretzel jar of large fasteners and see if we can find something that'll work. That would probably work. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad if I had 4 of those. Or even that. Wow. That would definitely do it. Although I don't have, I guess I gotta have at least 2 and 2 for the top, and then I gotta have at least the same for the sides. Unless I could do shorter ones on the sides. Large fasteners are the expensive part of building all this stuff, so I don't really have that many of them. Generally buy them only if I have a project. If I was really motivated, I'd notch this out, actually notch all of them out so that the shelf would fit into the leg, but I'm not that motivated. I've got a man cave to build. Well, I don't have 4 of anything that matches, much less 8, except for these. Those are a little excessive, I'd say. These are a little uncessive. What's the opposite? But I'm gonna have to put this thing together now, take it apart to get it to Sarah's place, put it back together, let it sit for at least a year to dry out, take it all back apart, plane it, finish it, and by then I'll probably put some buy some better screws for this and glue all the joints together. So I think for now I'm just gonna do, those aren't that bad. I think I'll do 3 there, maybe 2 or 3 there, same on the other side. I've got lots of these. I think my dad found the box of these, a giant box of these at the Salvation Army Restore, which is where I like to get all my fasteners. So these are like a penny a piece if you buy them that way. Getting smoked out from both sides. It's getting thick. It's going to be that time of the year. Had to put a new butt battery in, y'all. Got to keep them warm somewhere. Well, it's a great saw, but it still burns through some batteries. Good thing I got a lot of them. Well, also while I got this apart, I might as well sand it a little bit. It's going to be hard because it's still wet-ish. I mean, this thing's been down for a couple years, I think, so it's not like soaking wet, but certainly won't be able to finish sand it or anything. Have to do another video and show you guys totally finishing this thing. I think it's going to look really cool sanded and varnished or stained or whatever we end up doing. What the stink. Keep getting sporadically snowed on. Have to keep covering up my tools. I guess they call that snow, I don't know. Getting rock salted on or something. Not quite enough to throw a snowball at Tito yet, but we'll get there. I say screw it. I'm going to take a nap. Oh yeah. All right, let's try this one more time. Well, it's already cut. I think I'm gonna have to do a little what they call fine tuning with the chainsaw. So this side's a whole lot wider. than this one. So this is a full like 13 inches on each side, I believe. However, this 13 inches comes inside here. This 13 inches does not. So I'm just gonna hack a chunk off with the chainsaw. It's always a little bit of a trick to build any of this stuff from raw slabs you take right out of the tree, you know, because you don't want to lose a whole lot of it by cutting it too thin. But you know, one side's a little wider than the other side, and it often takes a little chainsaw adjusting. So I think I'm just gonna cut it. Why don't we do like there, out to, yeah, like up to there. Ooh, that's loud.
Okay.
What you think? You likey?
That is beautiful.
She breaks up with me because it's full of worms,
Yeah.
and I didn't spend any time sanding it, then she's just not the kind of girl for me, you know?
Well, that's what she gets for ordering a table
From ringworm? Right. Don't order furniture from ringworm unless you can handle the squirm, as they say. Well, just one or two more things to do to finish that up, but we're both way too hungry, and it's 6 o'clock, so it's already starting to get dark. Gonna make some good dinner on the campfire. I don't usually show my cooking on YouTube here because it's never anything interesting, but because we got a campfire going and Tito's here, I'll show you what I'm making for dinner tonight. Pepper, truffle salt, got some prime rib burgers, and found some buttery steakhouse rub. That sounded good. Pepper. Now Tito, you're gonna want to see this. This is the important part. This is where I can teach you something that I just made up a minute ago. What you do is you take them like this, upside down. That's
Okay.
key. You got to put them upside down. I just happen to have 2 slices of aged provolone. It's only aged because I've had it for a while. And then we sandwich them like that. We'll season the other side, and then we'll squitch them down.
Gosh,
What does that make you? How does that make you feel?
I can't
In
say
certain
it.
places, I know it's a family show, right?
I can't say it.
Do a little squinching, maybe a little
Pinching.
there, just like that. Whole gob of olive oil that's almost frozen. Salt and pepper. I'm using that fantastical truffle salt. Bunch of pepper. Let them sit in there for a few minutes, and then take them out, throw them directly on the grill like that. And if you cook the stem side down first, then when you flip them over stem side up, it holds all the juice in the middle of it, and they stay really juicy and good. Grill it whole like that. Salt and pepper these ahead of time and let it soak in a little bit. And let's garlic them a little bit too. Same family, right? Can't hurt. Good to go. So onion. Stem side down. Very important. Wow, that is hot. And if you do the same with the onions, then when you flip them over, they stay cupped together. They don't all come apart.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta cut the onion in the middle and then a big slab on either side so they all stick together in a bunch. They look like they'll eat. Oh. 1, 2, 3. Manage the swing, manage this. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, that's exciting. These are al dente. That means the dent in German. Did you know that? No. I mean, maybe. It's not too bad for ringworm eating.
Oh man.
Rock and or roll. Whew, it's like 23, 24 degrees this morning. I got up a couple hours ago, made myself coffee, and we forgot to take the filter out of here, so now I gotta wait till later today to even get it out. Oh well, winter's a-coming. That's got a little hefty.
Yeah, let's go.
Now the winter's coming on, I say to myself, I gotta put this thing somewhere, regardless of what it is. Where am I gonna put this out of the snow? I guess I could tarp it, or, oh yeah, the gazebo. Got this sucker built just in time to be the winter storage. This thing turned out great. It's a lot of chainsawing and a lot of work for one dude, but it was fun to build. Now, already got some freebie windows, secondhand store windows. Maybe there are 3 or 4 of them for my man cave. I'm gonna start building. Actually, I've already started. You guys will see a video in a week or two. Sarah's recycled t-shirt rug that she's making for this place. Told it needed it to be wall to wall. I think that'd take about 65,000 t-shirts. I got one more thing to do before I stash this and let it freeze for a couple weeks. Got some general purpose bug killer here, so I'm gonna go through all these spots and just hose them a little bit. I think I got most everything that was alive in there. So I'm gonna hit, I can see through that one. I don't know, I think the nozzle froze. Crap. Well, might have to come back later on today and finish this up. Got it freed up a little bit, just had to put it in my pocket for a little bit. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Next week, right after this, I'm gonna put this sucker in here and go back to working on my man cave a little bit. I'm also gonna do a little bit of work on the ATV garage that I built, the hanging ATV garage you guys have probably seen. I think I'm gonna have to put feet on it with the snow coming, and I actually want to put shelves, and I found a whole bunch of stuff that I'd love to get out of the lean-to and be able to shelf it in there. So I get the chainsaw mill out, mill up a couple of pine and spruce logs that I have laying around, build some shelves. Tito's gonna help me put some legs on it. I really like the way it hangs, but I'm pretty sure by the time I get all this weight on it, shelving and everything, and snow, it's gonna cave in. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next week.